Hey, everybody, I want to share this really cool and trippy thing that happened to me recently. It started when I cracked my tooth, and in order to get an implant, I had to have the tooth pulled, and then it had to be packed with cadaver bone. Now, I'm sure many of you have had this done, no big deal. But the fact that I am such an extreme empath, the thought of having someone else's bone in my mouth was unsettling to say the least. But I had it done, survived it, everything's okay. Well, a few days after the procedure, I was sitting outside in the sun, and whammo, this message comes in from Spirit that tells me, the bone was donated from two different donors. Now, during the procedure, I was a little out of it, but I do remember the doctor telling the nurse that she needed a second vial of bone. So that tracks. That makes sense. And then Spirit tells me, and both donors were male. And there was quite an age difference between the two. One of them died at a fairly young age, the other one died later in life. One died from an accident, and the second one died from health issues. And the older man that donated bone to you was an extremely wise man, and he is imparting some of his wisdom on you along with his bone. So I thought, well, that's super interesting. And that was that. And then a couple weeks ago, I recorded a new podcast episode with a man named Vinny Tolman, who's extremely psychic. He's been on my show. This will be the third time. And after we recorded, we were chatting, and I was telling him about my tooth, and he offered to do a little bit of healing work on it. He went in and he sealed it from any karma so that I wouldn't pick up on any karma from the donors. And then he paused and he said, "Do you realize that the bone came from two different donors?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "And both were men." And I said, "I know, Spirit told me that." He said, "Oh, and one died young and one died older. There's about like 25 years difference between them." And then he said, "Oh, one died from an accident and the other one had a heart attack when he passed." And I was just kind of sitting there giggling to myself. He's like, "Oh my gosh, the older donor was super wise and he's passing wisdom on to you along with his bone donation." So that was mind blowing, such validation, and it was such a good reminder of how magical life is and all the information that spirit can bring. And I just love this shit so much that I wanted to share it with you all.